fans to start worrying about the Chris Parson commitment?
I think there was definitely, I think it was great to have Parson in attendance for that elite camp. It also made me feel just a little bit better, from what I was hearing. Parson, didn't really want to talk to media. He kind of went through a rough time there about, he was competing at the Elite 11 regionals up there in Nashville. Dustin was in there in attendance, and from what he saw from him, Parson looked really good. He pulled a hamstring early on in the 40 before they were able to do their field workouts, and really put, kind of hurt him a little bit, just both physically, of course, but mentally. And it brought him back, and there was a lot of really good quarterbacks. I believe five or six got invited to the actual Elite 11 finals out of that camp, and that's now including, Parson being able to retrieve one of those. But at that time, he didn't come away with an invite, and so he was pissed, and he didn't like, that, and just something happens like that where you get hurt early on and kind of limits you. That going on, and then, Florida State, had communication with Parson, letting him know that they were indeed offering two more quarterbacks in his class. All of that kind of combined together, kind of put his mental state, I believe, in a kind of in a tough spot. And it's understandable. These are young men and still kind of learning. You've got media every left and right and just everywhere contacting you, just wanting to get a comment on, everything. What do you feel like about Florida State offering these other quarterbacks? And you got Florida State's fan base, which, let's be honest, can be extremely irritating at times. And that's just kind of what comes with the territory nowadays. A lot of these fans care a ton about this football program, and they want to get it back on track. But, I think Florida State fans, if you want to kind of get aggravated at something, you can maybe try to get aggravated at this staff. You do not want to lose Chris Parson. This is a very talented kid. He has a lot of close connections and has helped kind of build a little bit of this class. I think some of when we saw him and being able to spend some time with family, I feel better than how I was before going in. I had a few question marks and how Parson would be, and would he be distant from any of the staff and such. And we saw firsthand, Mike Norvell and Chris Parson communicative all throughout the camp. You saw Parson going and hugging and dapping up and, rooting for a lot of the current commits, him connecting pretty well with Camden Fryer a few times, him going over and making sure routes are being ran well. And like I said, Norvell and him were in really close contact throughout that entire day. And Parson stayed for about the longest out of any recruit in that IPF that night after the camp. So like I said, I feel a lot better than how I was going into it. It was good to catch up with the family and such. And, we talked about in the production meeting, he does have that visit lined up for this weekend with Mississippi State. From what I was told, this is entirely, kind of because his dad went there, graduated from Mississippi State. And I think now it's kind of gotten to the recruitment time where you're locked into a place, but you also do want to take the advantages of being spoiled and, being able to travel, take the free travel trips and go check out these other colleges. But he will not be throwing. He will not be working out in front of these coaches. I think that's definitely worth noting. I haven't heard anything yet if there is expected to be more visits entailed, but the tweets about the offers going out from SMU, getting the other offers, those are all kind of near him too. So living in the area kind of added on to him putting those offers out. And so I got a lot of answers from that weekend from him. I'm not entirely, I know we talked about it last week, but I was like, yeah, there's definitely some question marks. I've got some question marks. So those have been answered. So I feel a little bit better. I might not be able to answer the question down below and the scroller. I don't feel too worried right now. Florida State's got two quarterbacks though taking official visits, I believe, this upcoming weekend. So we'll see what ends up happening. But from what I've been told, and it's been that way since day one, Chris Parson is not scared of competition. He's not scared of it. And I think for Parson too, I think he trains very well. He's a guy that gets up so early, trains 4:35 a.m., goes out and does all that and works out with other quarterbacks. I just don't see if I were just free from me thinking that, I just don't think he'd shy away from having another quarterback come in. And I seriously do think Florida State fans, if you're trying to push away a kid that the staff really likes and Coach Tokar really likes, I think that's a really bad decision. Florida State fans are going to do what they want. They'll be silly on Twitter, but this is a kid that you most certainly want to keep in the fold.